Happy Pride Month, y'all. Hey.
Hey.
We're
Happy Gay Month.
we're the Horror Hussies. And, oh, that's us. Here I am. Here she is. And I picked a movie to review called The Perfection for Pride Month. I saw it on Netflix when it came out. It was suggested in 2018, so that's when I watched it. Dana, have you ever heard this movie?
No.
Okay.
The trailer looked like it sucked.
I didn't even watch the trailer. I just watched the movie. Wow. Is that the tone we're going into? I have a feeling that you don't like the movie.
No, that's not true.
Okay. Go ahead and tell us what you got, what you know.
Okay. So Kipria's gay movie for the month with Rotten Tomatoes had 70% and the audience gave it 57. IMDb gave it a 6.2 out of 10. And Google gave it a 3.5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm. Consistent.
So, yes. The summary is when troubled musical prodigy Charlotte reconnects with Elizabeth, the rising star at her old music academy. Their meeting sparks a dark and twisted journey with devastating consequences. And it's starring Allison Williams and Logan Browning.
Yeah, the chick from Get Out.
Mm-hmm. The director is Richard Shepard, and he is an Emmy and DGA award-winning director and writer known for films like The Matador, Dom Hemingway, and The Perfection. He's directed 10 TV pilots that went to series, including Criminal Minds, Ugly Betty, Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist, and Apple's... why can I not? I can't say Acapulco. It's a place.
Acapulco?
Acapulco,
right?
Acapulco.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I've watched some of that. I watched Zoe's Something Infinite playlist.
I've never heard of that.
It's kind of like Glee, but she is the only one seeing the musicals going on in her life.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised you put up with that.
I like shit like... I watched Glee.
Yeah, I did too.
And I watched like Little House on the Prairie, shit that it, juxtaposition of it all. I don't know. I like it.
So multiverse.
Yeah.
Let's see. He also helmed standout episodes of Girls, The Handmaid's Tale, which I love, and the finale of Welcome to Chippendales.
That makes sense. Girls, did you watch this series?
No, I've never heard of it.
Oh, it's Lena Dunham. It's like
praised
the biggest, best viewpoint of a single female through the lens of everything. I have to admit, she's a good writer.
Okay.
So it's actually a show I fucked with, even though I related nothing to these girls and these lives living like in this upper middle class New York. But I was like, I can fuck with the womanhood of it all. So yes, I can see why she's connected to the series Allison Williams, because she was in Girls.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He also had his debut film was called The Linguini Incident, starring David Bowie. I feel like
is it a fight over?
I don't know.
Or is it like Laying the Tramp and they kiss over one noodle or something?
Linguini.
Linguini? Is that
like something weird David Bowie would have done?
I'm sure.
Maybe. Which was recently restored and released on Blu-ray and Criterion Channel if you want to check it out, which I do. His latest project, the director Richard Shepard, is the autobiographical documentary Film Geek, which premiered in LA and New York and will air on TCM in 2025.
Okay.
There was no information on the budget. I could not find. I saw something weird on Reddit, something about in the 100 million, which I was just like, that's not right.
I heard that it said just typically for a Netflix film it's 100 to 250. For a low budget horror, it can range from 500 to 5 million. So I don't know if this is considered a low budget, but I know nothing about
how much
the illusion, how much case costs. That would be a question for our friend here, Shannon. She could probably tell by looking at something that. Yeah, that costs
Shannon's
a lot.
On the floor right now, watching us.
Yeah.
Thanks, Shannon.
Shannon.
We needed a handler for this because we're doing our first 30-minute episode.
This is so if you're a newbie, you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. But if you're not, it's a brand new day, a brand new sleigh, and we're gonna keep it, yay, not hey, not too much, but just right.
Mm-hmm.
Boop.
Just a little boop to keep y'all
Just a little
interested,
boop.
I hope.
Yeah. Anyway.
Since it was released on Netflix, so there was no box office numbers. So we don't know nothing about this movie, basically.
Okay.
I can actually save this fun fact for later. Well,
Okay. Sure. I can get into my music stuff and you can
Sure.
bring it up later if
Yeah.
you like.
Yeah.
Okay. So the music is, the score is done by composer Paul Hasslinger, born in Linz, Austria. Do you know Arnold Schwarzenegger? You know.
I've never heard of him in my life.
Neither have I. But his catalog is like, I think I've heard of it. He studied in Vienna Academy of Music, and he joined a German electronic music group called Tangerine Dream in 1986.
That sounds familiar
Yeah.
for some reason.
Isn't that like our dear friends? Isn't that like his side project? What did he name it? Who from Newt to Newt? What did,
What
was
did
it
he
like
name? Orange Sickle?
or
Was it?
I thought he named it
No,
Tangerine
Orange
Dream.
Cream.
Orange Cream? I thought it was
Rich,
Tangerine
what
Dream.
was it?
I was
Okay.
like, Rich, did you get it from this?
Yeah, we're talking about a local Atlanta
A
band
local
called
Atlanta
Newt to Newt that has since disbanded, unfortunately,
Yeah.
many years ago. But they were amazing. And then they had the little break off band. It was something like Orange Dream.
Anyway, I thought it was
Rich is gonna
Tangerine.
kill
But
us, what does it
anyway,
matter?
so he got his first Grammy in '91 and moved to LA. And he did films for his first film, Crazy Beautiful. Shout out to Carmen. That is my sister's crush and obsession. What's his name? Something Rodriguez.
Oh, they're
This
going to
Mex-
say Aaron Butler.
Jay Hernandez. Jay Hernandez
yeah.
was the early 2000s heartthrob.
He was in Hostel.
My sister was fucking obsessed with him. So he's had a huge catalog. He's done video games like Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and actually I didn't know he did one of my favorite TV shows theme songs, Halt and Catch Fire, which is about computers, and it was really good. And he also wrote music for the Fear of the Walking Dead, which is a spinoff from The Walking Dead.
Not as good as the original, in my opinion.
There's so many spin-offs, and I stopped watching. I
did
stopped
too.
caring a long time ago. I mean, some people might still be there for the zombie,
I don't know.
whatever. I just
Let
want
it
to
go.
know.
End it like you ended Sex and the
Just
City
tell
on
us
a
how
high
it
note.
started. After all that I just want to know, how did it fucking start? If we're gonna keep going,
I know.
Just give
That's
us
what
an
I was
answer.
waiting for the whole time. Never got the answer.
So, of course, I chose this movie because of the music, because I am, as you see right here, a cellist. I went to school.
Show it to him. Move your laptop out of the way so they
I'm
can
not
see
do-
it. I'm not saying you got to pick it up. I'm just saying move your laptop out of the way. You're blocking it.
My cello's here. I'm not
Fine.
moving around. Okay. So my cello's here. And so I chose this movie because the score was wonderful. It reminded me of all the pieces I used to play when I was in orchestra. And yeah. So the two actresses who portrayed the main characters here, Allison Williams and Logan Browning, they actually learned the cello for this film.
I was wondering that.
But they learned it well enough to pass.
Right.
They did, because they talked about how it took they talked about how it took a long time just to hold the instrument. And
Yeah.
it made me have flashbacks, because it actually takes a long time, and there's days before you even pick up the bow to play, because it's a very awkward instrument. You just have to learn to hold it correctly. So
Caress it.
I don't know if they're like, yeah. So I was very impressed that they learned the instrument enough to pass, and it was believable enough for me.
For me, who doesn't know
Yeah.
anything about cello playing.
Yeah. So that is what I learned about the music and the score. So I guess you want to get into, what we liked and disliked about the film, stuff like that.
Sure.
What you got for me, Dana?
All right. I loved all the twists. I did not think the trailer portrayed anything near
I didn't even
what
watch the
was
trailer.
like. Yeah. I was like, this movie's gonna suck. It's weird and it's very vague. But I was very entertained by it. Like Wes and I watched it last night, and we were at the end. We were both like, that was actually good. Like there was like it was
Good.
a lot of twists and turns. I thought the acting by the women was great, especially when I guess Logan Browning was throwing up on the bus.
Yeah.
I thought it was very
I heard
believable.
opposite in a lot of reviews.
Oh,
People thought it sucked.
People were, yeah. I feel like there's like just as many people that
if it were
hated it as
me,
loved it.
if it were me,
Right.
I could act. I could, you know,
Right.
yeah,
Like Raphael.
yeah, right. Yeah, I know,
thinks he
right?
can-
It's not hard.
Yeah.
It's not hard. Yeah.
I thought the lighting and the angles were really cool, especially at the end scene when they were having their little revenge. And I just thought like the cinematography was done really well. I love that they had like a good street justice for a sexual predator
Yeah, I
at
know.
the end, which ties into my fun fact. This is from IMDb. This fun fact. And it states, whether intentional or not, the film's plot and its release by Miramax appear to echo a response to Harvey Weinstein's crimes. Though Weinstein co-founded Miramax in 1979, he was fired in 2017 following numerous allegations of sexual abuse and rape. The parallels between the character Anton and Weinstein are striking, and the film's strong feminist themes suggest an effort to distance the studio from its controversial past, especially as Miramax ownership had been seeking to sell the company even before the scandal became public.
I got that right away, that the striking woman who, you know, showed the woman around in the school, that, oh yeah, this is Jesseline and Epstein.
Weinstein.
Epstein.
Weinstein.
Weinstein?
That's
I'm
Miramax.
sorry, you're right.
Epstein, other sexual
Epstein.
predator.
Oh yeah, AI made a point to say, by the way, this is not connected to any way to the Epstein thing. It's like, I didn't ask, but AI just
Like,
wanted
they
to
both
remind me.
suck, so.
But yeah, I got that. You know, I guess it's easier to go into a mother to leave her children over to the care of a man if there's a woman there who,
Right.
which I gives
You
me
think
the
you would
Jesseline
trust.
Epstein aspect of
Right.
it.
Yeah. What was her name? Ghislaine or something? The woman?
Did I get? Am I saying the name wrong? I thought it was Jesseline.
Yeah, I don't know.
Jesseline. I mean,
It's
the
with
woman.
a G.
It's
Yeah,
with
I
the
know.
G.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, you
Yeah.
didn't even put that together. That's,
I also thought it tied well with, he kept saying to reach perfection and mention God a lot. So I thought it was definitely tying into the type of horrors that, you know, that happen in trusted men in communities when it comes to the Vatican,
Yeah.
JWs, youth pastors, that kind of thing. And I love how horror is always a good vessel to see justice being done, which never really happens in real life, or something that we can really attest
Hell yeah.
to. And so I really like that. Yeah. And
Do you have any dislikes?
dislikes. No, I didn't. My
neither.
only dislike is I felt that there was a point when when there was a reveal, when they played the Perfection song,
Yeah.
you know, when they both have their arm cut off and they pan to what they have done to their abuser. I thought it could have been more impactful if they kept the whole movie with the orchestral score. It was a more like poppy woman song, so maybe it had some lyrics that went along with what they were trying to
It's a
convey.
little angsty, maybe.
But they could have. It was a very easy miss to use something that, like, very Psycho like, you know, like the Psycho score, Alfred Hitchcock, like, to see that kind of image of him just with all of his limbs gone, his eyes gone. But we missed that kind of dramatic moment with poppy music in the background. I didn't like how they had this rap song in there when they're like going in. It's like, that just like keep
That
it
was weird.
keep it
Yeah,
consistent.
forgot about that.
I didn't feel that added this
They're just
poppy
trying to be
song.
modern.
So,
I don't know.
other than that, I thought it was a great film. The script was very easy to follow. No big, grand Barbie monologue to explain what's going on. You know,
Right.
it just gets to the nitty gritty of it, and you can make that speech for yourself in your head. You know, you don't need it in a film. I mean, I'm not saying that it wasn't bad. The Barbie speech wasn't bad, but we get what the point is for this movie. So I enjoyed it.
I don't think they cut his dick off though. Because this was a musical academy sex cult.
I mean, I don't know for ratings reasons if they couldn't really focus in on that, but like, I didn't know if that was implied, but several limbs were missing. But if I were them and they were going at it, I'm sure they would have made it a point to be that the
He was in his
first.
tidy whities, and I
That
did not
probably
see blood
that would
on
probably
it. was
if I were them
disappointed.
probably be the first thing that they're fucking cutting off.
Yeah.
I mean, not that the camera can view in on that.
Right. I don't know. There's
But,
no blood on his tidy whities, so I was I assumed they did not do anything to his.
Was he even wearing?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He was wearing something that was white.
I mean, he
it was
had to.
tighty-whitey or
I
like
mean,
a
it's
wrapped diaper.
It's a
I don't know what it
Netflix
was.
film, so yeah, clever. Yeah, I felt that was a missed opportunity. That was a very horrific scene, and that's not like something that just happened in the next scene. They were there for a while, dissecting him, sewing
Yeah.
him up. I guess perfecting their song,
Yeah.
healing her up. That wasn't just like cut to next scene. So I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was great. I loved it.
It kind of reminded me of Tusk a little bit. Now I think
A
about
little bit.
it.
A
How he
little
would, like,
bit.
remove his limbs and stuff. But I know, different movie. But
Yeah, a little bit. But bravo. And it just was very flashbacky for me because during this time when I was perfecting my instrument, I was literally losing my own mind. And it was interesting seeing the main character go through that and kind of be
that was when you're-
antagonized into thinking that she was losing her mind and bugs were clawing out of her. So it hit very home for me seeing that.
for people that don't know, explain what you mean.
When I for new listeners or people who are like, when I was in college, and this usually happens in your early 20s, I started going through my psychosis with my battle with schizophrenia. So it was very hard for me, and this film kind of hit on it, even though her delusion was on hallucinogenic drugs and not necessarily a mental break. But they were portraying Allison in the mental institution because she was struggling with what was going on with her. Getting what's that film that we like, Requiem for a Dream, just getting electric shock therapy, and that's actually real. They still do that just like that.
I've heard. Yeah.
I didn't have to experience myself, but I witnessed a young girl who would go every day and get
Oh my God! Every day. Did it
therapy.
help? Do you know?
Yeah. I mean, that wasn't the recommendation for me specifically. I was just in a padded cell. I'm not even joking. They just put me in a padded cell. But for her case, what was going on with her, they kept giving her electric shock therapy. I don't know what kind of trauma she was dealing with, but that was the recommended treatment. I just thought it was in movies. Before I even know what schizophrenia was, I thought it was something that was like, that's what crazy people who murder their mothers. So when I experienced it my first time and saw how, now I'm getting off on a tangent, but like the film just definitely reminded me of my college years, going through something very traumatic and also playing the instrument. So it's just in learning and perfecting the instrument. So I liked it.
Okay.
And plus we both have, the themes are definitely things that we've dealt with in our lives, to see that justice on film
Yes.
was great.
Yes. Love it. Do you really think there are elite musical sex occult academies?
Sure. There's all kinds of things. I dived into a side of TikTok that I cannot, like, it's rich people TikTok. I'm talking uber ultra rich TikTok.
Yeah.
I thought like the way they portray rich people was just in movies. Like, this is fantastical. It's real. It's I'll send you the link. I'm like, wow. Like, I knew evil was out there, but like, what goes
watching
on?
the Diddy fucking trial
Yeah,
right
I already
now,
knew all that,
it
but the
fucked
level.
me up last week.
Yeah.
But yeah, crazy rich people.
Is it over
My
yet?
God.
Is he going to be in there, R. Kelly?
They're still
giving
got
concerts?
like another month or something to go. I don't know.
Yeah,
Kanye showed up today or yesterday.
It's crazy though. R. Kelly gives concerts in prison. Is that what Diddy's going to do? Bad boy. No, okay. Anyway, but yeah, that was my one disliked. The score was not perfect for me. But
Gotcha.
everything
Yeah,
else was
that makes
great.
sense. That totally makes sense. That
Just
one
to throw
rap
in the
song.
rap. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Okay.
All right.
So, you want to do reviews now? Yeah. Let's see what the people had to say.
Okay.
You want to go first?
Sure. All right. My reviews are from IMDb. And the first one I have is a 1-star review by M. Gowali. And they say, what a ridiculous movie. The idea of some kind of pervert musical religious cult hidden in a perfect music academy could have been a good point where to start to make a good movie. It's a real shame how the writers thought about the way to reach the bond and the salvation of the two girls. And for God's sake, a global famous American cellist girl with a self-cutted hand in China and nobody knows anything about her? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Embassy? Question mark. TV news? Question mark. Really does she come to the academy a snowy night from China? How? And for the hell, how can she drive a car without a hand. Strange doesn't always mean smart, and in this particular case, means only ridiculous.
It's a horror movie.
13
Roll
people
with
found
it.
this. 13 people found this helpful.
Oh my God. Okay. We get another one? I'll do mine next.
Yeah, I have 110 out of 10. This review is by Ward Couple, also from IMDb, titled Extraordinarily Cathartic. This is my first time writing a review for a film, but this one, I will do my utmost to be vague enough as to not spoil the movie for anyone. Too late. We did. But for anyone that has lived through something similar, it was quite cathartic. Is this film a horror film? Not in the conventional or mainstream way, but for that have lived it knows the darkness and depths of that abyss. The perfection makes one feel that horror as the abyss is revealed, slowly creeping up the throat and threatens to choke out all the air. The ending, needless to say, is the most fantastical and, dare I say, every victim's ultimate fantasy. Yes. I find myself almost giddy with a deep sense of relief.
Giddy.
What did I say, giddy?
No.
Oh.
I just think about that word. Like, I don't use that a lot in normal language. I'm giddy.
Because you never feel giddiness.
I'm giddy and gay and light and free.
Not relief that the movie was over or the way it ended, but relief to imagine such a justified ending. To be able to live, no matter how shortly, through the characters in the story, I believe is the pinnacle of all storytellers' goal. Bravo.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Chill.
I got the 1 stars that I don't agree with. This one is by No One IDK. All right.
Okay.
1 star. I watched Gothica, then this movie, The Perfection. First off, Gothica is an almost perfect movie. I say 90% at least. This, The Perfection, was very ignorantly put together. No drug is gonna make yourself chop off your hand.
You don't know that.
Second off, anyone rating this above 4 star is a disgusting person, plain and simple. Art? Maybe for a college student level of intellect. The acting wasn't even close to deservable credentials. But a fact is a fact. If the majority of the world is below average on intellectual spectrum, then the majority of reviews will be as well, I suppose. Well, haughty much?
Hoity.
Okay. 4 people found this helpful.
Oh,
Okay.
good for y'all.
I have another 1 star. Okay. This one is from Alex Manguel. All right. The first of my Netflix doubleheader begins with this recent release from director Richard Shepard, which involves a twisted revenge plot against a music teacher who is sexually abusing his student whenever they played their instruments badly. Well, at least that's what it finally ends up being about, since we had to wade through a weird subplot about 2 of the teacher's prodigies meeting up in China at a cello recital and hitting it off romantically. Allison Williams and Logan Browning played the couple, and at first things go swimmingly, but when we see a random concert goer getting sick, an onlooker remarks about a virus outbreak she heard about, which comes into play as the newly paired woman decides to take an impromptu road trip with Browning, starring to exhibit the same symptoms.
Same barf.
Things start going from weird to downright bizarre as a forced amputation, a kidnapping, and a willy-nilly drug dosing start piling up like so many cello strings, which ultimately add up to nothing, giving the final visual tableau we're forced to endure. Shepard has continued to make uneven films throughout his career, and this movie is no different. So unless you're expecting some decent lesbian action to compensate for this nonsensical flick, stick with Pornhub.
Oh, I thought it was decent action.
Yeah.
I mean, it was very quick, but
Yeah.
you know,
It moved. I like that.
That was believable to me.
The script, it didn't need to talk like people were talking. Like I'm reading a script, like
Right.
just normal conversation, because you can tell when flowery language is used to get points across in the script. Like that's not how real people talk. So it was great.
Yeah.
So those are my 2 1-star reviews.
Nice.
So guys, that was our Pride Month pick, but we also have Patreon content where we will release a blast from the past. A blast from the past.
A bliggity blast.
That is also a Pride Month horror that I picked to review. No, I think it was your pick, Hellbent.
Hellbent. Yeah, that was my pick.
Hellbent.
Yeah.
It's from 2004. It's about gays in gay Hollywood celebrating Halloween, and there's like a killer. Ooh, the music is great.
big
The fashion
Halloween
is
party.
great, and the glitter is great, and all that. All that.
Some decent drag.
Yeah. But for our next pick, it'll be Dana's turn.
Yes.
What is your pick, and what is your Patreon content pick as well?
All right. So my next pick is going to be The Devil's Bath. The synopsis is: in 1750 Austria, a deeply religious woman named Agnes has just married her beloved, but her mind and heart soon grow heavy as her life becomes a long list of chores and expectations. Day after day, she is increasingly trapped in a murky and lonely path leading to evil thoughts, until the possibility of committing a shocking act of violence seems like the only way out of her inner prison. Giving a voice to the invisible and unheard women of the rural past, The Devil's Bath is based on a historical court records about a shocking, hitherto unexplored chapter of European history.
Cool.
Yeah. So, I would like to re-release with this one for the Patreon. Did I just do Martyrs?
Yeah, you want to do that?
Yeah, let's do Martyrs 2008. That'll be the Patreon one then.
That'll be the Patreon one.
There, I said it.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, welcome to Masterpiece Theater with your
Yeah.
bookcase. By the way, I meant to say that in the
I
beginning.
forgot what that was. I just know that word.
I know.
It was two
remember
old
that.
guides in a chair, and
I feel like that's the Muppets.
no,
I don't know.
No, isn't
I
Masterpiece?
was like, why does this remind me of that? And I don't even know what it is. It's something from the 80s. It's like a vague blur from my childhood.
Oh my god!
I don't know. Your bookcase and your setup with the cello
Right.
reminded me of it.
Right. It's like that
That could be
was.
totally wrong.
Oh my god, that was. Who played T.J. Hooker? Real quick.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about. Huh? No,
thank you,
T.J.
Shannon.
Hooker.
I'm like
The
TJ
blonde.
Hooker?
The
I don't-
blonde.
Was that a character? I've heard the
Yes.
name, but I never knew if it was like an
Never
actual
mind. It's not
actor's
even
name.
important. Whatever. But yeah, Masterpiece Theater. Movie. Heather Locklear.
Oh, it's a woman.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
didn't
she's
even
a
know.
cop.
Yeah.
She's a hot cop.
Okay.
Never mind. It doesn't matter.
What
I was about
happened
to
to her?
say something from Masterpiece Theater, but it took me too long to find out this actor's name, so the setup doesn't even matter now. So just forget it.
It's a dead joke.
It's a dead joke.
Okay.
Dead. But okay.
All right.
Oh,
Let us know if you like the new format.
I don't. Here.
Oh. What are we?
I don't know.
Oh, wait. Are we going to do? No.
Huh?
I was going to do a heart with you, but never mind.
Oh, okay. Let's do it right here by our faces. Ready? What is this? Wayne's World?
Oh, no.
No.
It just look cool. What are we doing? Oh, this? Okay.
You said you wanted to do a heart, and
I
then you
know.
forgot. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Ha ha ha.